Hello everyone and welcome to Isekai World, and today I want to talk about Imu. Yes, the king of the world, the main ruler of One Piece world, Imu. And a month ago I made a video that Imu is the master of Haki. He has reached a level that even Shanks cannot be compared to. So today I want to talk more about that because after reading the current chapter of One Piece where Luffy displayed his power once more, I came to realize that what could possibly defeat him now. So before we talk about that, let's talk about Goldie Roger and Monkey D. Garp. These two are the legendary characters in One Piece and both of them are master of Haki. We still don't know if Garp has Conqueror's Haki, and if he does not have Conqueror's Haki, then Garp, or rather Armament Haki, must have another level, like a level that even Goldie Roger cannot compare to, because we know that Conqueror's Haki is used with Armament Haki to amplify the power of Armament Haki. This is the established fact, and now that we know this, we can conclude that if Garp does not have Conqueror's Haki, then he must be at a level that is above internal destruction of Armament Haki. So what possibly could be this level, and how is this related to Imu, the king of the world? So today in this video I want to talk about Imu and the next stages of Haki, because this is really interesting topic to talk about. In the One Piece story, we finally get to the point where Luffy's power does not even make sense. Toon Force is too strong and he can literally bend realities, but if you want to make him struggle in the final battle, struggle against the main villain, what could possibly make him do that? We know that Oda said us that the final battle will be chaotic, but we also know the format of every single battle that happens in One Piece. That is, Luffy goes on against the main villain, they fight again, and until or at last Luffy punch that person and wins the battle. That is how One Piece battle normally ends. But I want to say, if this is the way that One Piece final battle is going to be, then Imu needs a power up, like really scary power, because with current ceilings of One Piece world, Imu obviously cannot defeat Luffy, because Kaido, known as the strongest creature in land, water and air, he was defeated by Luffy. If now they fight, Luffy can still take him on. That is the ridiculous power of Gear 5. So knowing that, what could Imu possibly have in his arsenal to defeat Luffy? And I'm not talking about some new power up, and because that would not make sense. So let's talk about a next level of Haki, because that would not only make sense but also will show us a great battle between Imu and Luffy, because we know that Gear 5 messes with reality. We all know that. So what could possibly bind this kind of power? Because if reality is messed up, then there is no way anyone can stop Luffy. So I have thought about it, or rather I found something in fanfiction and I thought about it over and over again. Then I got another thought about Conqueror's Haki. We all know that Conqueror's Haki is related to person's ambition. If he's really an ambitious person, then his Conqueror's Haki will be strong. Kid has Conqueror's Haki because he wants to become king of the pirate. On the other hand, Law does not have Conqueror's Haki because his primary goal, his motivation was just to kill a celestial dragon, or rather Doflamingo. That is just a simple goal for if we compare it with being a king of the world, or rather king of the pirates. So knowing that the level of Conqueror's Haki Imu should have, because he wanted to become the king of the world by killing Joy Boy 800 years ago, that level of Conqueror's Haki must be insane, and the only person that could possibly have such level of conqueror's haki would be either Goldie Roger or Rox DJ Beck, or both of them, because we know that Rox was defeated by Garp and Roger combined. So hear me out, okay? Hear me out. What if Rox had a new level of armament and conqueror's haki, a level that was defied by Garp's next level armament haki and Roger's next level conqueror's haki? If these two are combined together to fight against Rox, that could possibly take him down. But we also know that Garp is not going to help Roger fight against world government. That's not going to happen. So Roger knew he cannot fight against the person, or rather king of the world. So knowing that, what if Roger planned to become king of the pirates in order to create a new future where a person with a power, or rather will of his own, will be born? And this kind of power only makes sense with Luffy, because Luffy is not just the grandson of Garp, who should possess a ridiculous level of armament haki, but also inherits the will of Goldie Roger. Yes, he the combination of Garp's armament haki and Roger's conqueror's haki. And now let's mix Dragon into this, because Dragon, we don't know much about the Dragon, but we know that he was we don't even know that, but let's assume he was a marine. And if he was a marine, if he saw what celestial dragons were doing to the world, we can assume that his vision was really high, because he not only planned the liberation army, he planned the entire revolutionary army, and for 15-20 years he had been working on this project, and finally they are going to fight against Emu. So let's just assume that Dragon has really amazing eyesight, or rather vision. If we combine his vision with Garp's strong talent, or rather talent for armament, and Roger's will, we get the perfect combination of armament, observation, and conqueror's haki in one single child, and that child is Luffy. Because Luffy is set to defeat Emu. He must, or rather he should defeat Emu in the story for it to complete. And to defeat Emu, he must comprehend the level that Roger, Garp and Dragon could not, and that is only possible if he manages to inherit all three of them at once, because Emu has been standing at the top of the world for 800 years. He became a king of the world. He wanted to become a king of the world, and he became one, and that would give him an immense amount of conqueror's haki, or rather immense level of conqueror's haki. And as for armament and observation, if he was really living from that age, then I believe his armament and observation has also reached the point where he can finally use what I would like to call domain, or rather I would like to call them awakening. Yes, just like Devil Fruit Awakening, I would like to call Haki Awakening. And this should be a new level of haki. Of course, I'm not a creator of One Piece, and it might not even exist, but this is something I thought of, and this makes a little bit sense, because if Luffy's power is so much ridiculous, the only thing that could possibly fight against him is a domain, a certain area where a person can control everything. Conqueror's haki dominate all. If it is on the sea, even sea can be dominated. Sea creatures can be dominated. If it is on the land, tree, air, everything can be dominated. That would be the conqueror's haki. And armament haki, if you want to attack, land or hit, you don't need to even reach near a person. If you just punch in the air, if armament haki has a domain, then it can affect everything within that domain. We know that Haki affects devil fruit powers. Even if it does not negate them, it does affect them. So if he uses devil fruit powers, like Luffy using his reality powers to change the reality, and if Imu uses his armament domain, then it could possibly negate the power of his ridiculous ability. That means Luffy might not be able to bend the reality in his will. Isn't that something that makes a lot of sense in the final battle? Like, that should be the final battle. And more importantly, if you can see a little bit into the future, then what if the advanced, or rather domain, observation Haki domain, can not only see into the future but also, just like Shanks, disturb the future. Yes, it's like changing the future but not completely. It's like making others believe that they have attack someone, but in reality they have not, because their observation Haki messed up. And when does a person's observation Haki messes up? If his opponent has stronger observation Haki, or rather if he moves really fast. And what if your observation Haki can dominate others' observation Haki using the Conqueror's Haki? If we combine these three forces together, then we can create an ultimate powerhouse. Even Kaido himself said that only strongest Haki user can rule this siege. So what could rule the entire world? Obviously, true strongest Haki user, and that is Imu. At least that's what I believe. And if I have to say, his observation Haki should be able to cover most of the world, like except Raftel and some other, he should be able to cover most part of the worlds with his observation Haki. And his Conqueror's Haki, I really doubt that it would be any lower than Roger's or Red Hair Shanks. It might even be one level above them, as I just explained, which is Haki's awakening. And the third thing is armament Haki. The reason I want to add armament Haki is just like I explained earlier. If armament can affect devil fruit powers, then Imu can affect Luffy's devil fruit power and not allow him to change reality, which means Luffy's ridiculous power is just going to affect himself, not anything around him, which would make this battle hand-to-hand combat, and the final punch would be landed by Luffy, because in that battle Luffy will learn the advance, or rather peak awakening of all three Haki. At least that's what I believe, and I think that makes a little sense if we think about the power scale of current One Piece. If you have any more thought about it, then please comment down below. I believe my theory can be completely wrong, just like before when I said that devil fruit were created by ancient kingdoms, and Vegapunk just smashed my idea right from the middle and said that they were created from the will of the people, desire of the people. So I don't think I'm right. I might be, who knows, but it is a interesting story, or rather interesting theory. So I would like you guys to spread it out, and you can do it by sharing this video. Also, don't forget to subscribe if you like this video, and thank you.